Hello everyone, this is Debut Factory, a place for new VTubers to be promoted such as 1.0s, 2.0s, and more. We also host fandom events, exchanges, and zines just like this one. Today we are here with special guest Vnilla as a newly debuted group. They are a cafe-themed group focused on found family. Hello to the four of you. Please introduce yourselves, and what kind of group are y'all?
Hello, my name is Tiramisu. I am the manager. I'm Shapeshifter VTuber. I have experience with some smaller groups. I started a small agency earlier, I believe last year or the year before. I was managing them for a while, and yeah, I really just wanted to open Vanilla because I wanted an actual group that felt like more of a family than just like business and like collabs. So I wanted something a bit more tight knit and something that could be shared with a bunch of people and just have fun together.
That sounds amazing, that's great.
Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Yeah, I can go. I can go. Hello, my name is Cassie, but I'm everywhere online as Cass or Cass VTuber, so either is fine. I'm a Twitch partner and a full-time variety VTuber. I play a little bit of everything, honestly. I'm a pink and white colored marshmallow cat who just wants to provide a safe and comfortable space for people to be themselves. I have marshmallows in my ear, hence, as well as a marshmallow twisty thing on my tail. I primarily play RPGs on my channel in addition to the occasional collab streams like Mario Party or Lockdown Protocol. And I have some extremely sus humor. It's an experience, and I think I'm kind of funny. In my free time, I love to sleep. I'm very nocturnal. I love to sleep. I enjoy reading, doing photography, and traveling. If it isn't obvious, I love cats.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like, marshmallows in ears. It sounds like you fit the cafe theme very well.
Mm-hmm. And it
Yeah.
wasn't even intentional either. Like, this design has been in the works since December 2023. So,
Awesome.
I'll go next. Well, hi, my name's Cat Dragons. I'm a Nekomata VTuber, and basically what that is, it's like a demon cat, pretty much, that like a cat that had passed away, and they came back to life as a demon. They have two tails, which whenever I show my full model on stream, people are like, "Whoa, you have full tails," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the whole bit." But my experience with VTubing, it's been really fun so far. I've gotten to meet like a lot of new people and experience like new things that I never thought I really would do. Like streaming, for example. Let's say 5 years ago, I'd never see myself where I am today, but I guess in 5 years from now, I'm gonna think the same thing. And I'm still like kind of fresh meat. I've been only streaming for like over a year, just a little bit over a year, but I feel like I've learned a lot. And with the experience that I have, there's been I'm sure everyone's experienced this, but there's been so much scuff that I've encountered. Like
oh, I'm right there with you.
it is inevitable, right? But like learning to manage and limit it as much as you can. I've been struggling so much lately, but it's been very helpful, and I feel like I can contribute well with helping others, manage their scuff if I can. But yeah, I'm Kat. I play variety, kind of just whatever I want. I've been on a big Marvel Rivals kick recently. If anyone wants to play or anything, hit me. but but yeah, I usually main like support characters in any game that I play. I feel like I'm just very supportive and the like.
Fun. Well, it sounds like you've been on a really big journey so far. It's awesome that you've joined Vanilla.
Mm.
Hey, I'm Oka. I do Oka things on the internet. I really enjoy a whole entire variety of different games, from racing games to competitive games to comfy games to Souls-likes, RPGs, just about anything that suits my fancy. I came into this whole thing not really with much expectations. I just really wanted to originally try out VTubing and see where it takes me. Things picked up for a bit. I ended up debuting and started off the whole thing with 20, 30, 40. At one point, I had 50 average. Unexpected life stuff came up, and had to change a whole variety. Not change. Had to take a bit of a break from streaming for a bit. Recently came back, and I'm doing really willing to put everything I have into creating content to get back to where I was, and I feel I'm slowly making progress there.
Awesome. Well, it seems like you were all on different steps of your journey and y'all came together to make up Vnilla. That's very interesting. So, what has been y'all's previous experience in VTubing so far? How do you hope this will help you in your group endeavors?
So, my experience with VTubing is I became a VTuber in fall of 2022. I had started streaming originally as a face camera streamer back in January of 2020. Wasn't really consistent with that until fall, winter time of 2021, and that's when I really kind of got my butt in gear with streaming. But I went to TwitchCon. I went to TwitchCon in October 2022, and I didn't have the best experience. So when I came home, I had every intention of quitting streaming and giving up. And my husband actually has always been a big VTuber person. So he actually was the one that convinced me to give it a try. Because originally with VTubing, I thought it was just people that were just doing it to try and get famous. Like there was actually like no talent behind it. And now I know that it is definitely not that way. But over my time as a VTuber, I went through a lot of design changes. I started out with a couple of pre-made models, then I got my custom model. It wasn't fantastic, so then I adopted a different model from someone, and then eventually I took that design, which was at the time a blue and white Arctic fox model, and essentially developed her into my own, and I made her a pink and white cat instead. And now the model that I have currently is 100% truly, authentically me. My marshmallow cat design, like I mentioned in the previous, has been in the works since December of 2023, and I just debuted her on January 18th, which is actually my 1-year anniversary of becoming a Twitch partner. So it was a whole celebration dealio. Since becoming a VTuber, I have participated in 2 virtual meet and greets that I worked with Araculture on. They hosted me. I also did an in-person meet and greet at this previous TwitchCon in September as well with Araculture. I've done merch with Uwu Market and Araculture, and I'm currently working on a new collection of my Marshmallow Cat model with Uwu Market. I'm also a GamerSupps partner who I am extremely happy to work with. They are absolutely fantastic. I had a previous drink partnership before them, but they didn't treat their partners best, in my opinion. Maybe it could have just been my partnership manager, but I ended up meeting them by chance at a convention and actually started talking to the main person in charge of partnerships, and now we're here. It is absolutely fantastic. And hopefully, 2025 has even more awesome opportunities for me.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a really big journey you've gone through as an established VTuber. So have
Oh,
you
yeah.
been excited to be, a Twitch partner and reaching those goals?
Oh my God, yeah. I was so ecstatic. I thought for the longest time that Twitch partnership would never be a thing for me. So when I had started partner pushing in end of November, early December of 2023, because I was reaching numbers in the average, but not like actively making a super big progress, because this was before raids really kind of helped with that average. So I had good averages, but like the Twitch path to partner average was still around like 50. So when I said I was going to partner push, it took me like 10, 11 streams to be able to unlock the application, thanks to supportive members within the community and friends and mutuals. Got denied my first time, which is okay. It was completely expected. And on my second application, I got accepted, like I mentioned, January 18th, which is actually the day before my birthday. So it was a whole celebration. I remember opening the email and just crying, and my husband came in the room because I was screaming it, and I'm like, I never thought this would happen. I never thought I'd be a Twitch partner.
Fun. Well, I'm very glad that happened. Would anyone else like to speak on their previous experiences so far?
I originally started streaming around, I believe it was like 2015, maybe 2016. I did IRL streaming for a while as well. I have a weird household. So like I would stream like without a microphone, and I didn't have my camera on, and it was weird because people would watch me and I would do I started off doing speed runs of Outlast on insane mode, which if anyone knows what that is, if you get hit, you die and you restart the entire game. There's no save points. So yeah, I started doing that. I basically made it to the end of the game. I didn't complete it and then I just never played again. But I would really like to get back into speedruns again because I think I'm pretty good at them. But that was kind of my first experience streaming and starting streaming. And then I kept doing that for a while. I did IRL for a while. And then I just kind of decided it wasn't for me. I wanted to try something different. So that's essentially when I found VTubing. I started my channel and my name in June of 2022, a little bit after the pandemic and after everything happened. So I just kind of started growing from there. And my original model, which I no longer have, I rebranded. She was sold off, and now I'm this model that I have currently. So I've just kind of been doing a bunch of different things. I've done another agency, as I mentioned. I've done smaller groups. I've done stuff like that. But this is kind of my, I guess, biggest thing that I want to do. And I have a lot of faith that it'll turn out well this year. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for this year, is that we can all have fun, have a nice time together.
That's fun. I hope all your hopes and dreams come true. Yeah, I saw on the audition post that this is a group based around found family. How do y'all hope to connect more as a group, and what kinds of content can facilitate that?
One of the ways I really find would be a good way to get everyone to connect more would be, of course, the occasional full group collabs. But also, I noticed everyone in the group has their own individual connections with one another. For me and Cass, it would be Skyrim together. For me and Kat, it would be Phasmo. Me and Misu, we have a bunch of very niche games that we both play as well. I'd have to actually look back into it because they did mention it, but Kat and Misu, Kat and Cass, everyone has their own connections and stuff. So we'd also be able to do our own personalized collabs and stuff as well.
Fun. Well, it's all about the individual connections rather than just the entire group, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to hold a group together if it's, there aren't personal connections as well.
Fun.
Also difficult if it's let's for example say that me and Oka know each other and Oka brings me into a group, and see, I know Oka really well, but I might not know the other two very well, and I might just cling on to one and not talk to the other two as much, hypothetically.
I personally think it's really helpful that, well, at least for me, I don't know what your guys' connection was, but I came into this not really knowing any of you guys.
Yeah.
Tira's tweet about it just randomly came up on my feed, and I'm like, oh, I'm really kind of vibing with this person's idea. Maybe I'll give this a try. I'm kind of used to being solo, but maybe I'll, check it out. And it seems to be a very comfy and casual space so far. And I think that's just because everyone's just willing to get to know each other instead of just absorbing onto someone else.
Right, and not and not just thinking it's business, we're not really looking to do that. I mean, sure, in the future, but it's we want to get to know everybody first, get buddy, and then we'll start thinking grander things in the long run.
This is the same for me and Misu. I literally came across a tweet and I was like, I like this idea. So then, of course, I messaged, we started talking, and it ended up being, we are here now.
Yeah, speaking of, why did y'all decide to join a group? Why specifically Vnilla?
Ooh, I'll go. I'm kind of, it's either me or
Oh,
Tira.
You're good.
Why did I decide to join a group, and why Vnilla? So like I mentioned, I'm kind of more familiar with being solo, but throughout my whole experience as a VTuber, it constantly has felt like friendships have just kind of gone through in cycles. Granted, it could also probably be partially my fault. I'm kind of a background friend. Normally I consider it. I'm not someone who's going to message you every single day, because I just don't normally have the social spoons for that. So since friendships were cycling through so much for me, and I constantly felt like I'm on the outskirts of any sort of group, that when Tira's tweet came up, it was actually the first time that I really considered, doing a group like this. I liked the theme, I liked the idea, I liked the way that she marketed it, essentially, and I figured it would probably be a good place for my little introverted individual personality person to just kind of find a place to actually fit for once, because it always feels like I don't fit anywhere. And I feel like I fit really well with these three.
That's amazing. I'm glad you fit very well with these three. Would any of y'all like to talk next?
So originally, a long, long while ago, I used to stream under a different name. Enough years ago, I don't even remember what the original name was. I ended up suffering a major crash on the computer. I handmade every single asset before that entirely from scratch. So not knowing I was supposed to back things up since I was still fairly new to everything, I ended up losing all the stuff. A friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, Lazy Moop, ended up saying to me that rather than letting this be the reason why I stopped streaming, I should take it as an opportunity to rebrand, restart, and take all the knowledge that I had and add it into something more, create something new. I took that advice to heart and spent the next year and a bit planning everything out, connecting with people, researching and stuff like that. I ended up debuting very successfully. Near around the beginning of me actually starting streaming again, I had one person that came into my chat, and they were talking about how they really, really wanted to start streaming. They didn't know what they wanted to do. They didn't know anything about it. They were nervous to start. They just couldn't bring themselves to start streaming. And I ended up telling them, I said that your biggest fears about streaming are nothing more than just their fears. They're in your head. And the only thing that's physically holding you back from streaming right now is just clicking the go live button. I reminded them that the first time that they start stream, or the first time they stream, is going to be the hardest, and then every time after that, it gets easier and easier. I told them, don't worry about people showing up. Just do your thing, have fun, go live, and just enjoy it. Week, maybe 2 weeks later, they came into my chat and they said that they finally went live. They said it was thanks to me. They said that I had inspired them and they wouldn't have done it if they didn't show up in chat that day. That changed my perspective a lot on streaming. And I became addicted to that specific feeling of inspiring people, making these connections, and pushing people to do what they want to do, what they hope to do, really supporting people in that way. Tira's tweet ended up coming across my screen when I was thinking about, like, how can I take that next step and how can I present myself more publicly to reach more people for that. We ended up messaging a bit. I asked a bunch about the questions about the group, what the plans are, and a lot of it found to align exactly with what I've always been wanting, because I always wanted to join a group for a whole variety of different reasons, but like the found family, connecting with people, the supporting people, stuff like that, all the core values were exactly what I had wanted. I ended up joining because I feel working alongside other people would also really help with pushing to connect with more people. I just want more people to enjoy streaming and more people to enjoy what they love to do.
Mine might seem really silly, but I joined just because it seemed fun. TLDR, it seemed really fun. I don't know. Join a little group and hang out and get to know people and like associate, your brand with these other creators, and you all have like a cute little brand together.
I don't think that's silly. I think for everyone, it kind of, if you really, really simplify it and narrow it down, like everyone here wants to have fun. There's nothing wrong with it, like being your TLDR. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think
So that
VTubing in general is all about community, right? I mean, people keep
Mhm.
seeking that out. I think that's the number one connection between anyone in VTubing.
Well, I joined because I made the group, so hello. That was kind of my reasoning. I just made it, so I was like, why not? Why not join? No. I mean I could have honestly just not joined and then did like another like I'll just watch, but I think I really wanted to be in a group. I've been honestly looking for a group to be in, and a lot of them just didn't really like match, I guess, what I was looking for. So I was like, I'm just gonna make my own, and if anyone wants to join and feels the same way, they will hopefully join. And I got a ton of auditions, and I had to go through all of them, but it was worth it because in the end, it just kind of feels like overall the same message is that everyone wants to have like a group of people that they can have fun with. And I mean, I have, like, as I've mentioned, I have really high hopes for this group. Um, and all of these people are wonderful. So I'm excited to see what we can do this year.
yeah, and something that I like to really think about is like a philosophy I kind of go by. If you can't get invited into your own party or like someone else's party, throw your own party, right? It's a lot of things like, for example, with some collabs, some groups, if you won't get invited to like collabs because, there's so many people that want to collab out there, just make your own. And it's helped me feel better about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, what unexpected limitations or pitfalls do y'all think you'll occur during your time as Vnilla? And how do y'all plan to resolve group conflicts?
So I'm gonna be like completely real with this. Unexpected limitations or pitfalls or like little problems. With us being such a small group and with us having our individual connections, for me, there is the like slight little worry that like say me and Oka start to have a little bit of a spat, and the reason why I'm using Oka is because we sort of already did. But so Oka and I have a little bit of a spat. I don't want that to come and be a problem within the group, but I'm worried that it will be. And like I know family members, they fight, they get into their heads and everything amongst each other, but like with us literally just being a group of 4, I'm worried that these individual things could start creating rifts. And I personally, my goal and plans are to, if I ever have any problem with anyone, to reach out to them directly and communicate it to them instead of like say like Oka and I when we had our little biff. Instead of like if I were to message Tira and be like, oh my god, I'm so mad at Oka right now, like not doing that, and instead of just going directly to the person to work things out, because we're supposed to feel comfortable and trust each other here. So I think it's the most respectful thing to do is to just tell someone if you're upset and then you can work it out together.
Yeah, definitely communication is key. That's another thing. If you can't talk to your found family about the issues, then I don't know. It seems like you shouldn't be found family, right? So I feel like the communication aspect is really good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they nailed it. I don't really have any extra things to say. It's really just communication, exactly how Cass and Kat have said it.
Basically, they just reiterate exactly what I was thinking of saying as well. Sometimes there's misunderstandings. Sometimes there's you intend to do one thing and it comes across another way. So it's just like communicating about it and talking it out like adults, which is something I feel a really solid trait to have, especially amongst friends.
Well, it's great that y'all are all so open and communicative with each other. Let's talk VTuber groups. What do y'all find successful in other VTuber groups, and how do y'all hope to emulate that? How would you differentiate yourself?
I can
Like I
go
mentioned,
first. Oh,
I just wanted to say that I'm normally used to being solo, so I don't really have much input on this question. So somebody else can talk now.
yeah, I got it. So I actually was mentioning because when all this started, when I got everyone in the group and I sent out all the letters and the applications and whatever, I talked to Oka and I was discussing like I really like VTuber. I like how they did their group. It's also another found family type of group. I really like them. I think their aesthetic is really nice. Like everything that they do, I think is really nice and is really well put together. So essentially, I wanted to have a website for us, which I'm in the process of making right now. It should be done relatively soon, but I'm doing it myself, and I'm hoping that it'll help bring a little bit more traffic to us, or at least if people see us and they find us, they can go to our website, they can see who we are, what we're about, and check out each of our pages, our social media. And I think that's a very big thing to do right at the beginning so we can establish ourselves.
Fun. Well, is there anything special you're planning for the website, or are you keeping it pretty standard?
It's gonna pretty standard. Just there's gonna be about pages for each of us. Again, just our social media. Each of us will have a different page for ourselves. So Kat will have her own page, Oka will have his own page, Cass will have her page, and I'll have my page. And it'll have all of our social medias, just links, different stuff like that. Who Vnilla is, what we stand for, what kind of group we are. So just the basics, really, but I think it'll be nice to have it all gathered in one place.
It's really fun that you've been putting in all the legwork as, the one doing all the social media and kind of being the bot manager. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience of being the head of the group?
I think for the most part, we're all in it together because I feel like we're all doing like our part. We're all ready to start. I feel like I'm just doing a little bit like
You're doing more like the logistical background work.
yeah, because I just want like it's just my preference, I think, because I just want stuff to look like extra nice. Like the website, I'm just taking a little extra time. Like I didn't have to do like the animations, but I really want people to like see us. Like I want to be out there, and I want to like show that this is what we can do. And well, this is just the start, but I mean, like eventually, this is what we can do. This is who we are, stuff like that. Because again, at the beginning, I think it's just really important to push that and to gain the traction that we need to really put ourselves out there.
Yeah, speaking of, as an indie group, it's definitely harder to grow up in an agency. How do y'all plan to market yourselves going forward in order to build a strong, welcoming audience?
Well, so far, the little bit of input that I have here, I like that Tira had done the animations. I think that was extremely unique and really good to like, especially with the group announcement for who's who and everything. I really liked that idea. I also like that we each have our own little individual cafe themed artwork. So I think like just having that unification amongst designs and something that'll bring everybody together will also help make it easier to market and to like really be like, this is who we are. This is what we do.
I think that really just clips. I mean, I think it's really the same as when we are solo, like clips, TikTok, if it stays around on YouTube Shorts, and then collabing as often as we can. I think just really putting ourselves out there again and again. I mean, it really is just the clips, the videos, and marketing as a group instead of just separately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely would have to agree with that one.
Well, it's great that you found exactly what you want, and it's really interesting to see that you're all in different steps of your journey. About what you said, the advice section, do any of y'all have advice for people who may be new to VTubing or new to streaming? Do any of y'all want to give some advice to newcomers out there?
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess some background. I started VTubing back in August of 23, mainly like playing World of Warcraft and doing mythic raiding with the like guild and stuff. And I started out actually with a PNG tuber that I drew myself. And since I was in college, I couldn't really afford any kind of model at the time. But so for starters, if you can draw your own stuff, great. If not, that's also fine. Don't beat yourself up over it. And Also, while there's been many up and downs, I can say that VTubing's been a blast for myself, and to anyone, who wants to start streaming, consistency is key. Have every social media that has ever existed ever to promote your brand. I would say that those two are really, really good for starting out, or just in general.
Working off of Kat's mentioning of PNG, I think something very important if you want to start VTubing is to know that it is okay to like use just a PNG or use like one of those Etsy ones that are not AI generated, or like one of the customizable ones from artists on Twitter. Like, I think that that is a fantastic place to start. I personally view it a little bit better instead of just jumping in and getting a custom thousands of dollars model right away, unless of course you have the finances. If you have that and that's what you want to do, go for it. But I do think it'll at least get you feeling like a VTuber, like learning how to puppet your model, even if it does have limited physics and everything. Like, just putting yourself into that mentality instead of spending all this money only to maybe end up not liking it. I think that that is the most important thing, is to like ease yourself in. And another important thing, if you want to start streaming, don't try your hardest not to look at your friends' numbers and compare yourselves to them, because everybody's journey with streaming is going to be different. People are going to grow faster than others. People are going to dip while someone else excels. Like, it's going to happen. I know that I'm very guilty of having done that with my best friend like a year, 2 years ago, when we first were both switching into VTubing and everything. Because I met her after I became a VTuber. So like, she had popped off really quick while my growth was very steady, but then as I was growing, she was dipping. So like, it's very important to know that you are more than just the numbers that you see in your stream analytics when you're done. At the end of the day, it's important to be happy. Try not to watch the viewer count actively while you're streaming, because then you'll get into your head. And yeah, numbers at the end of the day are going to be important, but just don't let them get to you, and don't compare yourselves to somebody else, because you are your own person. You have your own positive traits, your own talents. It truly is just the luck of the draw, depending on growth and dips and everything for people.
Yeah, I do want to add a little small thing too. I have a customizable model right now. Mine was like $30 or so. But it's fully customizable, and that's kind of what I'm doing until I can actually afford the $1,000 models. But yeah, just kind of look around for like a customizable model, or there's tons of free assets that you could do. Like overlays, there's logos, there's just a bunch of stuff that you could do for free. You don't have to put hundreds and thousands in when you first start. Also, just when you do eventually start, I would recommend turning off viewer count, and just making sure that you really like keep talking, even if no one's in chat, because the 2 seconds that someone might come in and you're not talking, they might just leave right away because you're not saying anything. So I would say just kind of try to keep up a little bit, even if you're just saying like, today I watched TV and here's my favorite show and here's the color of the sky. Like, just kind of keep going as much as you can.
Of course, not everyone can like talk constantly. Like, all of us that have been VTubers know that, especially because it's tiring. It gets very tiring to constantly talk. So
Yeah.
having those natural pauses is completely fine. But don't, like, if you go, unless you market yourself and brand yourself as a mute VTuber, just try your best to just be chatty, even if you don't have anyone responding to you in chat. Like, lurkers are a huge part of streaming. So like, even though they might not be responding back to you, they probably are still enjoying listening to you.
For sure.
If I can add something on to Cass's, At the beginning, you don't even need to spend a penny on pretty much anything because there's a program called Vroid Studio.
Oh yeah.
That's what I started out with, and to be honest, my favorite part of setting up anything was like creating that character because it's surprisingly in depth. I mean, you have of course, you can paint on top of it. There's a bunch of cutting, pulling, and pushing, which is like messing with the dynamics of like the actual features of it. You can add horns onto characters by hardening the hair and meshing them in a certain way. There is an extreme amount of depth that you can do with that program with coming into it completely with no knowledge. There is a lot of tutorials that actually like really really help with that. When it comes to first ever streaming, the best thing I can possibly offer for advice is take that time to figure out what type of content you want to do. Because you may go into there being like, oh, I want to be a super wholesome streamer, and then you find a lot more fun being more sus, or even to the extreme of like a lewd tuber. Same thing in the other way around. You can think that's what you want to do, but have a lot more fun being super wholesome. You may find that the content you want to do originally, you don't enjoy as much as the content you end up finding yourself doing more of. Definitely finding where you fit into this whole thing, because everyone has their place and their position that they definitely fit into. It's just a lot of the time I find some people try to force themselves to stream in a way that they aren't exactly the most comfortable with because they hope it will do better. But like the best content someone can create is the content they enjoy creating the most, because the viewer will always tell if someone is not quite enjoying what they're doing.
I have one more thing to add, if that's okay. It's really short.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions and ask for help. It does not make you less talented. It doesn't mean that you can't be a streamer because you're asking questions. It means that you are showing that you actively want to do better and learn. Even if it, like, for instance, say that I pop by your stream or I raid your stream with like 100 people or something, I'm more than willing to always answer questions. So I think it's very important to know that having that mentality of it's okay to ask questions, there's nothing wrong with it, it doesn't make you any lower than anybody else, is very important as well when you're wanting to start streaming. Because it can feel very lonely at first, especially if you feel like you're constantly the only one in charge of like looking up how to do things, or you're getting stressed and you're getting stuck. Like, it can be very lonely, and asking questions at least helps you get more of a communication help going on instead of stressing out, doing it all on your own and burning out.
Well, thank you all for all the advice that you've been giving. It all sounds very good. That's all very good advice coming from y'all. So we are going to wrap things up here. And finally, what is the best dessert?
Cheesecake. I love cheesecake so much. I have sat down and eaten an entire cheesecake. Like, we're talking just over a foot wide, like 5 inches thick. I am not a big person either. I just love cheesecake.
Cheesecakes are amazing. They're also very challenging to make, but for me personally, you can never go wrong with chocolate cake. For me, it can't be super dry though, because I don't like dry cake, but it also can't be so juicy. I don't know. I don't want to say the M word in case people are bothered with it. Where it leaves like residue and everything everywhere, so it needs to be like just right.
It needs to be well set and not sticky.
Yes, thank you. That works perfect.
I think the favorite cheesecake I ever made was a cinnamon bun or cinnamon roll cheesecake, where the entire thing was infused with like the cinnamon roll type cinnamon stuff in it. Instead of the pastry on the outside of it, it was just like flattened cinnamon rolls.
That sounds amazing. I literally, I'm gonna bounce off a little bit of like the chocolate idea, but I think probably French silk pie.
Ooh, that's really
Ooh.
good too,
And
though.
it also has to be made a certain way because
Mhm.
sometimes it's not. It's the like bottom crust has to be. It has to be good. Some of them just aren't good. I don't know.
It's very important with French silk because French silk, the middle of it is just so gooey and soft. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't have a crust at the bottom really supporting it, then it's just kind of like you're eating mush.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, guys, but cheesecake sucks.
I am so I'm writing the twit longer right now.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
y'all gotta leave the magazine. No more magazine. Y'all gotta leave.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, what's your favorite then?
Definitely chocolate mousse.
All right. That's understandable, I guess.
It's a safe answer, I know, but it's my favorite. But yeah.
Might as well just set a chocolate bar at that point.
No!
That's too safe.
I mean, kind of. Kind of.
It depends what kind of chocolate bar, though.
Special dark. It has to be special
Oh
dark.
no! Oh no!
Or baking.
I'm not a fan.
I eat baking
Not
chocolate
a dark chocolate.
at
I like dark
98%. At 98% cocoa, I will eat that.
Oh my god!
But it's so good. Y'all don't.
I love dark chocolate too.
Yeah.
I found out the Walmart nearby has 100% chocolate dark chocolate bars. And
Whoa.
Ooh, nice.
I'm
Those
over here
exist?
like, yeah. I discovered after getting used to those, 95% is just really sweet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have those. I'm good.
I love milk chocolate and white chocolate. I am good there.
Me too.
Anyone here like baking?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love baking. Me and my nana, we made sugar cookies, but I had the amazing idea of putting matcha tea and jasmine tea in it, and it turned
Ooh.
out so good. Like I never was able to replicate exactly that because we didn't really measure the amount of tea stuff we're putting in it. We just kind of eyeballed it. The first time it had this really strong matcha taste at the beginning that faded off into a really smooth jasmine flavor.
Ooh,
That sounds nice.
sounds
I've
good.
been trying to remake that every couple of times a month. I try to redo it, and I'm just like, I need to figure out what this master equation was.
Well, everyone, that is Debut Factory. Thank you for joining us with our special guest, Vnilla.